Ni sambulo bina kana turna ngakini marama ni bulo bina kana doro bau kini mone lewa. Ni sambulo bina kana ngone. Ena gotale mnamo ngona ni wawe katalau. Ena mataka ena idai.
Ena vendelana mai nei tasiri.
Numbulo maleka. Gondi milote nai solo tambua.
Ena lomo ni vonua mai sianganga.
Eu bulare. Go Samuel Samli. Na nota ngona ni wawe katalau ena radio Fiji-One nandomo evitina vonga ni bena. Mai no kini ziwa ena bi mataka. Moni tiki na pagrubuka. Nika inamaka.
In this bulletin, Indonesia and Fiji further cement relations with visit of Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi. Little interest from the public for government's free medicine scheme. And local bankers awarded for outstanding contribution to banking industry. Good evening, Fiji. I'm Makosita Tale and this is FBC News. Fiji and Indonesia are further enhancing their bilateral relations following the first state visit of their Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi. Marsudi departed this afternoon following discussions with Fiji's Foreign Minister Ratu Inoke Kumbombola and Minister for Women Rosie Akbar. As Christopher Chan reports, while relations are being strengthened, it seems the Melanesian spearhead group countries may be divided on the issue of West Papua.
Fiji has welcomed the Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi. It's a relationship that has been cemented since the visit by former Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono last year. Marsudi's visit completes her three-country tour of Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands and Fiji over the last 3 days. She gave a statement to the media at the conclusion of the discussions, but no questions were to be asked.
My visit here is to reflect again the friendship, the good cooperation between Fiji and Indonesia, and I had a very fruitful discussion with the Foreign Minister, and I just finished my fruitful discussion also with the Minister of Women.
The issue of West Papua has been brought up in Fiji recently, in Parliament and through a march in Suva last month. However, Fiji's position on West Papua remains unclear. An attempt to get an interview from both the Minister Ratu Inoke and his permanent secretary Esala Nayasi proved futile. Marsudi's discussion centered around enhancing economic cooperation, capacity building and technical assistance.
The Foreign Affairs Minister has shown us a new pathway for future assistance that the government of Indonesia would be providing with us. Today's was a symbolic handing over of a shell processing machine to the ministry to empower women. Of course, this is a very generous donation from the Indonesian government.
Regionally, Vanuatu has been vocal about the human rights issues in West Papua. And more recently, PNG Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has stated the time has come to speak about the oppression. West Papua has applied to become a member of the MSG, and Fiji's position on the application is uncertain at this stage. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Minister for Women and Social Welfare Rosie Akbar has visited the 14-year-old girl who was reported missing in Papua New Guinea last week. The young girl arrived back in the country on Friday and has been taken under the care of the Ministry of Social Welfare. Akbar says sadly they were informed about the young girl before she left, but they could not stop her due to the consent that she had from her relatives. She says police is investigating the case and the ministry's role is to counsel the victim and the family.
Very sad case that one of our 14-year-old girl was subjected to some harsh conditions when she was taken by a family member to PNG. And for the security of the child, we would like to keep her whereabouts undisclosed. And we would appreciate that the girl is given privacy so that we can counsel her, we can assist her, and she longs to be back with her family.
Meanwhile, the 21-year-old girl who was also with the 14-year-old has returned to her family. The Health Ministry is concerned as to why members of the public are not utilizing the free medicine program. Assistant Minister for Health, Vina Bhatnagar, says they haven't received a positive feedback on this assistance from government. Sakir Sanaivo reports.
It's almost 2 months now since the Ministry of Health opened applications to individuals earning less than $20,000 annually to access medicine free of charge. So far, only 4,460 Fijians have registered for government's free medicine program.
Many people have not come forward to fill in the forms. Yes, we still need people to come forward and fill in the forms. I'm not saying that people haven't filled in. Quite a number of people have taken the initiative to fill in the forms, but still the figures are not as many as we are expecting.
Bhatnagar says it's important for the public to recognize the importance of this initiative. Under the free medicine program, people can get listed medicine from selected private pharmacies for free.
There are 72 types of medicines on the list, and this list has to be displayed outside the pharmacy in the hospitals, and of course all the designated pharmacies, they also have the list of medications which are to be given out FOC to the low-income earners.
The Assistant Minister for Health did not reveal why Fijians are not taking up the initiative.
No, I'm not aware about this free medicine. I don't know anything about it.
I noted to fill it, but I have to fill and put it back in the hospital.
Because of working schedule, that's why I can't fill in the form.
I've got the form, but I didn't fill it yet because it's like more complicated. You have to get plenty things to fill in there.
The registration for the free medicine initiative is still open, and registration forms are available at any subdivisional hospitals, divisional hospitals and main health centers. Those earning $20,000 and below can register for the program. Sakir Sanaivo, FBC News.
International banks in the Pacific are profitable. That's according to banking expert Bob Leon. Leon says this, however, comes at a cost to other banks. He spoke about this issue during the Fiji Institute of Bankers Award ceremony at Novotel in Lami last night. Eleanor Turangeviu has more.
The Pacific has seen 2 new entries in the banking industry in recent years. BSP from Papua New Guinea and Bread Bank from France. Bob Leon says low bad debts, the increasing population and good customers are attracting international banks to the region.
Why then have so many international banks departed the shores of this beautiful region? It could be scale. This lack of scale is the enemy of any business where capital costs are high, and banking is such an industry.
Leon is the former managing director Pacific for ANZ. He says while the industry is keeping up with modern technology, it is coming at a cost.
The move to mobile and phone banking is becoming a competitive edge, and all banks are being forced to keep up. While there are many efficiencies in this for banks, the lack of scale and the fact that wages are generally lower in the region means that payback is not always there.
Last month, Westpac announced it was selling its operations in 5 Pacific nations to BSP. Leon says bigger banks are moving to where they see growth.
They feel that the growth is not there and that their capital might be better invested elsewhere. For the largest banks, the profits from small island countries is a decimal point on their balance sheet. What then is the future of banking in the Pacific? Will the remaining large banks also leave? In reality, we are now down to one large player. Hopefully its dominant market share will persuade it to stay.
Leon says the movement of large international banks out of any country will put pressure on local banks who will have to facilitate and cater for increasing requests for capital development. Eleanor Turangeviu, FBC News.
Meanwhile, top local bankers were last night recognized for their outstanding contribution to the banking sector. The awards were for 8 selected areas of banking service. The winners were chosen by an independent panel of judges comprising of prominent personalities outside the industry. Lifetime Achievement Awards were also awarded to institute members who have provided 25 years or more of continuous service to the banking industry. Coming up after the break, Chinese fighting monks display live kung fu.
बॉलीवुड हीरो बनती रे।
Get this.
हीरो 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 सपना दिखेला बंद करो।
क्या करूं यार, सबको आती नहीं, मेरी जाती नहीं। मिर्ची मस्त मॉर्निंग, मैं हूँ अश्निल सिंह।
हाय, मैं हूँ काजल।
शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
6 AM to 9 AM।
मिर्ची FM, it's hot।
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy admits that some teachers have not received their pay 5 weeks into the school year. FBC News raised the issue with the minister, who said the reason for the delay is that some teachers have not submitted their banking details.
For salary deposit, teachers have to provide the TIN number, the FTRA number, and bank account number. Some have provided the TIN number, not the bank number, bank account number. Some haven't provided the TIN number. These things the teachers have to provide. So as soon as we get that, immediately we release the salaries.
The minister says all those that have provided their banking details have received their salaries. The Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources is in urgent need of a scientist to measure the country's boundaries. Minister for Lands Mereseni Vuniwanga says Fiji needs a geodesist to update the ministry's survey points around the country. Vuniwanga says that one of the ministry's projects for this year is linked to geodesy, basically fixing survey points. The minister says Fiji's survey points are outdated while the rest of the world has moved on. She adds given the specialist skill required, the ministry has been unable to find any local with the capacity to do the work. The Lands Ministry is working with the Ministry of National Planning to try and acquire the specialist with development and assistance. Hundreds flocked to Suva Civic Center last night to catch a glimpse of China's oldest institutionalized style of Shaolin Kung Fu performed live on stage. A group of fighting monks from China are on a tour of the Pacific promoting Chinese culture. The monks are highly trained performers. Their routine includes running, jumping, tumbling, dancing, and fighting with spears and swords. They hail from the Shaolin Monastery, the most famous temple in China. Following last night's breathtaking performance, the group will now head to Tonga before they fly to New Zealand for their annual Pacific show. The group's visit to Fiji shows a more wider cultural interaction between the two countries.
We are aimed at promoting the cultural exchanges and we would like to seek more chances to bring more cultural shows to the Fiji people and to share our cultural heritage with the Fiji people because as we know the Fiji people has a very rich traditional culture.
The troops' visit is also a good example of understanding other cultures, which is part of school curriculums aimed at making Fiji a smarter nation.
We need to learn more about each other's culture, history, arts, and here's another form that we saw tonight. I think a very specialized form of art from the Chinese community.
Even the younger audience was motivated by the group skills and movements, displaying authentic Kung Fu skills only watched on television.
It is educational and it could be included in our physical education in school.
The show is quite fun and it's kind of dangerous because he hit the metal on the head.
It was really interesting the way they jumped and landed. When they landed, their small toe was sticking above ground, and it was really cool to see them do that.
The show was a lot of loud noise, but a lot of fun, and a lot of smacking, but really good.
The performance represented the characters of the Chinese people reach out to uphold justice, and to be ready to defend oneself. Many Fijians are now basking in the glory of their successful businesses, which is what this segment is about. Tonight on Successful Fijian, we speak to businessman and former politician, George Shiraj.
George Shiraj began his journey in the business world in 1986. Growing up in Raki, Raj was motivated to follow in the footsteps of his father, who was also a businessman. It wasn't until he got the push from a client that he set his foot to opening up his own business.
I started my business after getting my education at a tertiary level. I became an accountant. I worked for some Boys Prasadhan company. And one day I met one, I was doing the auditing of a Chinese gentleman who was our client, and he was doing the skidding business, the digger operating in Navon. So I was with him, and the way that I was asking him questions in doing his audit, he told me that, look, we went for lunch together, and he said, look, the way that you're asking me questions, you can become a very good businessman. And then in that afternoon, I thought about myself that, you know, my uncle is paying me quite a good sum of money. Why not I start my own business?
Raj opened his first shop in Namuimanda in Raki and has today climbed up the ladder of success. Today, he has 5 different properties in Raki, a district with over 29,000 people. He has a supermarket chain, restaurants, a barber shop, a DVD outlet, a clothing shop, property rental and money lending business.
Raki is not like Suva, or like in the Sunu area, or like in Namaka or Nene, where, you know, the population is there, money is there, flowing of money in tourism industry, the tourist industry, the sugarcane, employment is there. Raki is a small place. And if we get success as a businessman in Raki, we can do anywhere in the whole world. And that is what, and then I'm very proud of myself to be a son of Ra. That's because if I'm not going to develop, if I'm going to leave Raki and go and develop in Suva, then definitely I would have made a lot of money.
Raj has now 3 children and says he is proud that they grew up in the small town he also grew up in.
What I'm so proud is that I'm a son of Ra and I've developed Ra. And I've developed this town is coming up, and that is where the government always supports us. And that is, any government of that day must always focus on that, hi, this man or that man is not trying to develop in areas where he can get a lot of funds coming in, a lot of profits coming in. But this man is trying to develop in a rural area.
Raj was named after Ratu Sir George Zakambau, who was the Governor General of Fiji. He served as a Minister for Multi-Ethnic Affairs in 2001 to 2004 and contested the 2040 elections under the Sodelpa banner. He says being how successful a politician is judged from the work he does on the ground.
When you get an opportunity to become a minister, work so hard, say, that when you leave your position, people will praise you. And one thing I tell you, say, in business, in politics, anywhere, your value is not at the time of your position. Your value comes when you are out of position. When you are on the streets, how people greet you. I go to Latoka, I go to Nedi, I go everywhere. People praise me. I go to any government office, any private, people respect me in the same way. Just because, say, when I was the minister, every day I would sit down with my CEO and discuss issues. How can we develop? How can we save our people in this ministry on our core functions?
George Shiraj made a special acknowledgement to the Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama and his government for having a vision to take Fiji forward and supporting developments in towns such as Raki, a town he has helped grow to what it is today. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC Sports, Toka Westfield Dragons and Tamari Sevens on a high. And Australian NRL officials in the country to help local coaches.
My name is Luca.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Mulubinaka for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause
Leading our sports tonight, the Toka Westfield Dragons team will be a star-studded side going into the Fiji-Indonesia Sevens this weekend. The team retained its title at the Matintar Sevens yesterday after defeating Army Green 31-14 in the cup final at Prince Charles Park in Nandi. Josephine Avula has the details.
The defending champions started the tournament on a high after thrashing Nalo to 43 points to nil in the opening match and remained unbeaten all throughout the tournament. Coach Epeli Langiloa says the players showed potential and better performance.
The players' performance are all in par. They struggled through the first half, but they cruised to a very convincing win, which sets them the platform for the rest of the day.
Langiloa says he will be fielding more former National Sevens players for the Maris tournament with the hope they get the call to be part of the National Sevens team to Hong Kong.
We are having Pio Tuai Nadungu is back, Samu Sangewa is back, we're having Sani Balati is back, and these are all ex-reps, and they are in Malaysia and they'll be joining us in camp on Sundays.
The former national trainer says the team has been improving a lot because of the hard work from each individual player.
And we've gone through that throughout the week, so that to remedy the errors, try to eliminate all the mistakes and better their performance and shift it to the next level, always on the next game.
The Toka Westfield Dragons is among the 7 top club teams that have confirmed their spots at the Fiji-Indonesia Sevens. Josephine Avula, FBC Sports.
3 officials from the National Rugby League are in the country training coaches on the basic skills of the game. 30 coaches took part in the Pacific Strategy Program training course, after which they will be given a Level 1 accreditation in the sport. The Fiji National Rugby League believes this is a great opportunity for the sport in the country, as a lot of basic errors during games have been noticed.
Tend to neglect the simple things, the basics. But once these coaches have come in, they've taught the coaches not to forget all those. Once you get the basics right, everything will just fall into place.
The same clinic is being conducted in Papua New Guinea, Tonga and Samoa. The Suva football side continued with its fine form in the Rewa Galaxy Premier League with a comfortable 3-0 win over Nandronga today. Ravinesh Karan Singh struck twice for the Whites as they outclassed the Stallions on attack. Napoleoni Nkasivakatini also grabbed a goal for the capital city side. In another match played today, Lautoka defeated Rewa 2-0. Meanwhile, in the senior grade, Nasinu Thamtai Levu North 12-2, while Navua beat Lami 2-1. The Nandi Volleyball Association aims to win the upcoming Vanua Cup tournament. This comes as the team continues to lift its standard of performance at the weekly Western playoffs at the CAF Compound Volleyball Court in Amaka. Josephine Avula has the details.
It's the drive and motivation of a victory in tournaments ahead that drives these youngsters to trainings every afternoon. The Nandi volleyball team consists of youth from all over districts of the jet-set town. The determination shown has been overwhelming.
The squad have been preparing for the last 3.5 weeks now, and we are very thankful to the commitment and the dedication that the players have been showing.
Nandi will be sending a women and men's team for the Vanua Cup. The players were selected from tournaments they organize.
We have been conducting club games at club level on every Saturday, which includes also the challenge for the trophies in the both categories, men's and ladies.
The Nandi team also aims to continue producing capable athletes for national duties.
Nandi volleyball now has contributed a lot to Fiji volleyball, not only in the indoor circles, but also in the in the beach volleyball. Our reps from Nandi has been or had played for Fiji in the last beach volleyball tournament, and they did come back from their championships with medals.
16 women's teams and 16 men's team will battle for the Vanua Cup on the 6th and 7th of March at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva. Josephina Vula, FBC Sports.
New Zealand beat Australia by 1 wicket in a much-anticipated match at the Cricket World Cup yesterday. Australia batted first and surprisingly were all bowled out for 151 runs. New Zealand only just reached the target with a wicket to spare within 24 overs. New Zealand remain undefeated after 4 matches. Meanwhile, defending champions India, and also the only other undefeated side in the tournament so far, smashed United Arab Emirates for a 9-wicket victory. India were on top throughout and dismissed UAE for 102. India lost just 1 wicket as they raced to get their target in 18.5 overs, Rohit Sharma hitting a half-century. In a match which finished in the last hour saw Sri Lanka beat England by 9 wickets. The match between Pakistan and Zimbabwe is currently underway. Meanwhile, you can watch the highlights of the India versus United Arab Emirates and Australia-New Zealand matches from 10:30 on FBC tonight. Generally, fine weather prevailed over most parts of the country today. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving over Solomons and extends southwest over to west of Vanuatu to New Caledonia to south of Fiji. Another trough of low pressure lies north of Solomons and extends eastwards over to Tuvalu to Samoa. On the temperature chart, Lautoka recorded the lowest today with 32 degrees. All the other centers hit 33 degrees. Tomorrow there will be occasional showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere there will be showers, especially in the afternoon or evening. Outlook for Tuesday, some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from afternoon or evening showers. Recapping our main stories, Indonesia and Fiji further cement relations with visit of Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi, little interest from the public for government's free medicine scheme, and local bankers awarded for outstanding contribution to banking industry. To our poll segment this week, we ask, are you satisfied with the level of debate in Parliament? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizensize@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from us for today. I'll be back on Saturday. Until then, have a safe and productive week.
Kita boleh mula sambut mai, hena guna baru taki na yan rubangi kebika. Na mau to mai buka tali tu na bisere waraki muni na guna baru taki ngo na yan rubangi enam pula FM. Nimbola benaka, oya ubika na isoro ranyo na tomani o mai na vito na kabiki na tini karuai nung bangi lebu. Ena guna baru taki sekoya na yan rubangi enam pula FM enam bandua ena sere.